Lightning flashes, thunder roars, and a deep darkness descends over a barren hill where 3 men are being executed. A central figure hangs exhausted between heaven and earth. Roman soldiers have beaten him, paraded him through the city, and driven heavy iron nails directly through his hands and feet. In the final moments of this execution, a condemned murderer with 0 time left to fix his life secures an absolute pardon. We are left to wonder how a man moments away from death receives the greatest act of mercy in history. This death was foreordained. Long before the first nail was forged, the event was calculated to resolve a debt that humanity couldn't pay. It was a predetermined solution for a cosmic problem. To understand how complete, unearned forgiveness is possible for anyone today, we have to look closely at the mechanics of what happened on that hill. Hours earlier, a chaotic procession wound its way across Jerusalem. Weakened from severe blood loss, the central prisoners stumbled and fell under the weight of the wood. To keep the march moving, the Roman guards pulled a man from the watching crowd, an African man named Simon of Cyrene, and compelled him to take up the timber. This moment occurred in a part of the world that physically joins Asia, Africa, and Europe. By pulling Simon from the crowd, the Roman soldiers inadvertently brought a representative of the global margins into the center of the story. Because an African man physically bore the weight of the cross, the sacrifice belongs as much to the African as to the European or the Asian. The reach of the cross was global before the execution even began. When they finally reached Golgotha, the watching crowds laughed and sneered. They threw his past miracles in his face, demanding that he use his power to save himself and step down. He refused. He even rejected a medicated wine meant to act as a sedative, choosing instead to endure the full, bitter reality of death with clarity. He stayed on the wood because this moment was the only way to reconcile earth with heaven. Humanity's rebellion separated us from God. The law was broken, requiring a penalty. A perfect substitute had to step in and absorb that judgment to bridge the gap. If he had come down from that cross to save himself, the problem of human guilt would have remained entirely unsolved. Back on the hill, guilt is playing out on the crosses to his left and right. 2 convicted thieves and murderers are dying alongside him, initially joining the crowd and mocking Jesus. But amidst the noise, one of the criminals becomes silent. He recognizes the innocence of the man in the middle, turns to his partner and rebukes him, admitting they are dying justly while this man isn't. Then he turns towards Jesus and makes an improbable plea. He doesn't ask to be taken down, or even to be forgiven. He simply asks, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." This dying man has nothing to offer. No time to be baptized, no opportunity for good works, no chance to undo his crimes. He brings nothing but his own guilt. The response is immediate. Jesus promises him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." That single, dying conversation is the evidence of how grace operates. Salvation is granted through faith, completely apart from a lifetime of religious performance. The same hand that sustains the physical universe, holding the stars in place and preventing the earth from drifting into darkness, also records every detail of human existence. He sees the depths of human suffering. He remembers those waiting in anguish for a missing loved one, and sees those trapped in unseen captivity. But that total remembrance is also a liability for us. It means there is a record of every hidden thought and every personal failure across your entire life. Yet in this story, God demonstrates a capacity that exists nowhere else in nature. He has the ability to actively forget. He can erase the record of your personal failures. This erasure is only legally possible because the penalty was absorbed on that cross. You do not need to clean yourself up before you approach him. You can step forward right now, with all your flaws, and accept this unearned pardon, just as the dying thief did.